What is going on, everybody? It's France, and we're here for a Monday Night Raw review for November the 9th, 2020. And before we get into the Monday Night Raw, I have to say something. I got suspended on Twitter for absolutely no reason. I made a comment or something, and they said I violated their rules for issuing threats and supporting harm. And I'm like, what? So all I have to say is, fuck Twitter. Twitter can go fucking burn in hell, and Twitter can die for all I care. If you want to check me out on any social media, you can check me out on Twitter, on Twitch still, at the France Club. I'm every morning, mostly at 7 o'clock in the morning. And on Parler, Parler, for comments on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and AEW, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But again, fuck Twitter. Now, this is the next to last go. This is not the go-home show. That is next week. This is the next to last show before that. And we had no sighting of Bray Wyatt, so nothing there. We had things getting built for Survivor Series as usual. We have the rest of the Raw team, the last member of Team Raw being added tonight. Plus more shenanigans with them and AJ Styles with the whole team captain bullshit. Lana, did she go through another table? Yes, she did. I don't get why WWE continues to push this stupid shit. This is supposed to get her sympathy, and it hasn't been getting her sympathy. Now, again, one of the best things, if not the only best thing on Raw right now is the Fiend and Alexa Bliss, their relationship and where it's going. And now they bring Nikki Cross back. Like I said, no Fiend, no Bray Wyatt, no Firefly Funhouse, but we did see the interaction between Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. That's just starting to pick up again, and that is far from over. And, of course, we have Miz and Morrison in the main event again. We go right to the ring, and out comes Miz and Morrison for Miz TV. I absolutely hate these fucking talk shows. They always start out with, especially because they're usually heels hosting the talk shows, because why would a babyface need to host a talk show? The talk shows are meant to have a heel be able to trash the babyface or babyfaces who come out. So, tonight's main event is Miz and Morrison and Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre and The New Day. Now, of course, Drew McIntyre is wanting a rematch for the WWE Championship. He wants to go to Survivor Series in the best of the best matches and take on Roman Reigns in the champion versus champion world title match. Even though there is going to be a championship match between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, we find that out later in the show. I don't see that happening next week. I just don't. There is no reason whatsoever to have Randy Orton lose the title just by winning it again. And Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, we saw it at WrestleMania last year. That was old Roman Reigns and heel Drew McIntyre. Things are different. But a match between babyface Drew McIntyre and badass heel Roman Reigns, that is meant for a bigger show. Yes, I know we're going to have The Undertaker at Survivor Series for his final farewell, which I call bullshit immediately. It would be just like WWE to have somebody come out, like a Corbin or anybody else, and be like, you know what? This isn't going to be your final farewell because I'm going to take you on at WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. But they come out, these two come out, they hype up tonight's main event. He welcomes us to Miz TV, the Miz does, and they talk some trash. They pretty much make it seem like they're going to, like, Miz might just cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase tonight and take the title from Randy Orton because, hell, they're a team tonight, doesn't mean he can't stab him in the back. Randy Orton comes out and is like, whoa, this ain't fucking happening. You pretty much trying to set me up, aren't you? You're trying to set me up so you can take this title and go to Survivor Series and face Roman Reigns. Miz and Morrison like, no, man, that ain't it. That ain't it at all. We actually wanted this match because if we beat the New Day tonight, that would put us in line for a tag team title match next week or in the future. And New Day come out. They talk some trash for a minute, coming down. They get in the ring. Randy hits the RKO, I believe, on Xavier Woods. They fight. Kofi tries to fight back as well. Drew McIntyre comes out, and everybody's laid out. Yeah, that's just... Again, I'm not a big fan and never have been a big fan. I mean, you have other than the highlight reel, which the highlight reel was something of itself. Like, I know, like, one of the things that WWE, they struck gold in the 80s with Piper's Pit. Then you had The Barber Shop. Then you had, You had the, like, Paul Bearer had one for a bit. Jake the Snake Roberts had one. He had the Snake Pit. You had the King's Court with Jerry the King Lawler. Then came the highlight reel, which is the second best talk show they've ever done. Jericho made it feel special, and it wasn't always, because usually, like I said, most talk shows are heels. They're going to go out there, they're going to talk trash to the fans, they're going to talk trash, they're going to, like, bring out a babyface, belittle that babyface, and try to humiliate them, leads into a big brawl, and we get a match later in the show, or right now. Highlight reel didn't do that much. I mean, it did sometimes, but it was, like, not all the times leading, because Chris Jericho wasn't always a heel when he did the highlight reel. I mean, he was a heel majority of his, like, a good bit of time, but the highlight reel seemed like more of his babyface persona than his heel persona. Then Edge got one, Christian got one, JTG had one for a moment. He actually had to go on. I actually sound like when Shad Gaspard passed away earlier this year, I was looking through things on YouTube, and I was like, holy shit, this guy actually had a talk show for a moment. Kevin Owens has one. They tried to do something with Corey Graves, which only lasted a week. And Miz TV has been around for, I think, 10 years now. I could be wrong. I don't remember the first time they did a Miz TV. But it always is the same. Miz comes out, he brings out a thing, and it's just so boring. Like I said, the highlight reel was different because it wasn't always heel comes out, tries to humiliate the babyface, and they get in a big brawl. I mean, yeah, that's mostly what he did, only he was the babyface doing it to heels. But I don't know, it just seemed like the highlight reel was different. Jericho seemed to actually thrive in that role and pulled it off well. Nobody else then, and like other than Piper and Jericho, nobody else has had a great talk show. King's was worst of them all. If I can actually not mess things up. The announcer type match, hold on, no, we're already past all that. So yeah, that's how we started the show, and we're going to have a 6-man tag match later. Still to come, Elias, Matt Riddle, and Jeff Hardy. I refuse to call Matt Riddle just Riddle. That is so fucking dumb. The reason WWE took Matt away from Matt Riddle is because of the sexual assault allegations that Candy Cartwright, I think his name is, put against him. So they don't want little kids to type into Google and say Matt Riddle and see, boom, you're gonna see like 60. It's pretty much why China wasn't in the Hall of Fame until DX went in defense. They changed his name because they feared that little kiddies are going to go on to Google, Yahoo, Bing, or whatever the fuck they're using nowadays. I feel so old. And type in Matt Riddle and see Matt Riddle accused of sexual assault. Matt Riddle accused of sexual assault. Matt Riddle being accused of sexual assault and going to court over it. They don't want people to look into that. I mean, and like I said, it's just the same thing they did with China when Triple H went on the Stone Cold podcast on the WWE Network, and he said, well, she's not in the WWE Hall of Fame because if you type in China, you're going to find dirty pictures and dirty videos. And I'm like, good grief, give me a break. But yeah, Matt Riddle takes on Jeff Hardy and Elias Slater in a last chance match to see who goes to join this final spot on Team Raw. Where's Andrade? Why is Angel Garza sitting in the back trying to flirt with somebody that we don't know who they are? I think Andrade is actually injured, but why is Angel Garza not getting shot? Why wasn't Mustafa Ali Ricochet? Mustafa Ali, which fucking Tom Phillips with his Mustafa Ali. It's Mustafa Ali, not Mustafa. Get it fucking right. But why wasn't Mustafa Ali versus Ricochet a Survivor Series qualifying match? That would have been smarter than just having them go out there later in the show and having a grudge match. Put some stakes on it. That would have been great. Would the Team Raw be happy to have the leader of Retribution, or would they be happy with Ricochet? No, we had this last chance triple threat match because WWE is so fucking lazy. So that match was up next. Matt Riddle won it. Not much special about it. It was a decent triple threat match. I mean, having Elias in a triple threat match does hide his weaknesses. Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy can do most of the work while Elias just tries to do what he can. Elias, outside of his mic work and the fact that he can play guitar, he's really not worth a damn in WWE. Matt Riddle won. Moving on. Producer Adam Pearce and AJ Styles talking with his Messer Jordan backstage. Looks like some kind of agreement was made later. For later, as Pearce and AJ shake hands before Pearce walks it off, Charlie Caruso asks, what was that all about? And he's like, oh, it's just us being old friends and everything. Good excuse. Sheamus walks up and he's like, really? Riddle? This Matt Riddle? This guy? You're really going to be with this guy? This guy is a loser. This guy is not he's not shit. And I'm thinking to myself, Sheamus, wait a minute. You could be angry at AJ Styles all you want. But this was a triple threat last chance match. I don't think AJ Styles had even though he wants to play team captain and he's not really team captain, it just feels like WWE it just feels like they want to make it seem like AJ, like Matt Riddle won that match, and now AJ's picking Matt Riddle because he won the match. So Matt Riddle could have lost the match. We're backstage, and AJ Styles like, oh no, we're going with Matt because we want Matt. So dumb. So that made no sense. He's not happy AJ was for endorsing Riddle. Sheamus says Matt Riddle is nothing but an obnoxious punk, and he has no problem with kicking his head off when he steps out of line. AJ Styles says that's not a winning attitude. They need that winning attitude. He proposed at a team meeting. Caruso asks Sheamus how AJ is doing and says, AJ is not my captain. Braun Strowman walks up and says, he is not my captain. And they go to commercial break. Back for break, we see how Ricochet was attacked by Retribution last week. Tom hypes Mustafa Ali versus Ricochet tonight. We go back to Retribution now. Ali cuts a promo on Ricochet while Reckoning seemingly taking shots at Raw Women's Champion Asuka for the second week in a row. Ali introduces each member and says they are Retribution and they will not rest until they shut you down. I will say this again. Do not really give a damn about this group. I understand now, why they said, they, when they gave them the names Slapjack, T-Bar, Mace, and Reckoning which Reckoning's not a bad fucking name for a ruthless thug, but Slapjack, T-Bar, I guess Mace is okay too, but 2 out of 4 is not good. I know how people say 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4 ain't bad. No, 2 out of 4 is not good. Reckoning, I could see being somebody's alias if they want to go out there. But T-Bar, Slapjack, no. I could see Mace. Those are not bad names. But it's the Reckoning, it's the Slapjack and T-Bar ones that just... I know Vince McMahon likes to throw his sexual innuendos, but does he not know what Slapjack means? Type in, ask Siri, what does Slapjack mean, and you'll see what it means. Not fun. I think T-Bar is also one of those too. So, we see various happenings with the Hurt Business last week, including how Bobby Lashley took out R-Truth, which led to Drew Gulak taking the title from R-Truth. The Hurt Business is backstage when Drew Gulak walks up and he proposes that he joins the group on the phase 2 of the expansion. He asks MVP what he thinks the idea, and MVP says they do appreciate his seriousness, but they are not accepting applications at the time. And Lashley goes to grab Gulak by the collar, and his tie pops off. These guys look at him as and MVP's like, you seriously walked up to us, the Hurt Business, the most classiest dressed men in the WWE with a clip-on tie. Drew Gulak tries to shoo it away, but I'm the 24/7 champion. I gotta get out of here and covert and all that stuff. And yeah, they pretty much it is. They beat the hell out of him, and they leave. He's down. He looks dead. R-Truth says, man down, as he comes in the frame. 1, 2, 3, and he wins the 24/7 I-95 7-Eleven Eurocontinental Championship for the 42nd time. Lana versus Shayna Baszler. This is getting annoying. Can this end? Lana, I'm done with this. I don't care. She loses to Shayna Baszler in about 3 minutes. She gets maybe a little bit of offense in. Dana Brooke and Manny... I just can't even. After the match, Baszler stands tall and music hits. Jax orders Brooks and Rose up from the announce table while she clears it off. Baszler then tosses Lana out to Jax. Jax is able to put Lana through the announce table, but Brooke and Rose save her. Brooke and Rose argue with the champs as the women's tag team champions continue to have issues. Jax music starts back up as we see Lana recovering on the outside. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck, they actually finally let up. We're not gonna see Lana going through the table again. Yeah, we're not through the night yet. I should have kept my parlor or whatever they call it over there. I'm gonna say tweet because it's what I'm used to saying. My tweet on Parlor, I should have kept that because I'm still doing that over there. I should have kept that off of there because I was like, wow, Rose and Brooke actually, Rose and Brooke actually saved her from going through a table, so we're gonna miss that for a week. And then I'm realizing it's like 9:30. It's like it's not 9:30. It was like 9:10 or something. After we come back from break, Lana thanks Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke in the back. They didn't they did that to send a message to the champs. They didn't do it for her. They tell Lana to stay out of their business as you cost them the tag team championships last week. Rose and Brooke walk off, and Lana just looks so sad. Oh, so sad. AJ Styles is out with his associate Big Jordan. We see replays of the team happenings with Raw. AJ talks how Raw will be triumphant over SmackDown at Survivor Series with him as the phenomenal team captain. He goes on and introduces his partner, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Sheamus, and Braun Strowman. Before the team meeting begins, AJ admits that things went wrong last week, but now they have the missing piece, Matt Riddle. He goes on, but Lee interrupts and reminds AJ that last week's cheap shot. Lee feels like he owes AJ a receipt. Sheamus calls Lee a hypocrite, and hasn't forgot what Lee did to him last week. Lee and Sheamus have words. Strowman addresses Sheamus, but AJ gets in between them. He refers to himself as a team captain, but Strowman shoots the ID down. He threatens Sheamus with these hands, and AJ keeps calm. And this all leads to, Matt Riddle decides, you know what? I know how we can have some team spirit. Let's have some cool nicknames. And you know what? I'm not surprised that's something Matt Riddle would actually say. I mean, the guy is a pothead, and he sounds like a pothead too. Honestly, Matt Riddle, I swear, Matt Riddle sounds like he just hit the blunt before he came out here every single time. AJ does remind everyone he went up against SmackDown. AJ tells Sheamus, how good is Jay doing? He's killing it. He was killing it while you're not doing shit. AJ reminds Lee, hey man, have you ever been curb stomped? Well, Seth Rollins will do that to you. Matt Riddle laughs, and AJ asks if he wants a stunner from Kevin Owens. And AJ says if Strowman can't work with the team, he might have to bow down to King Baron Corbin. AJ talks his partner up with more, but they object when they refer to him as team captain. AJ then talked to producer Adam Pearce to sanction this match, in which may sound dumb, which of course Keith Lee says it is. But here amounts: Sheamus and Strowman versus Riddle and Lee, with AJ Styles as a special guest referee. He says this match will get everyone respect on each other, and they argue as we go to commercial break. So yeah, the big solution is let's have Matt Riddle and Keith Lee team up to take on Braun Strowman, and Sheamus. If I could tell you that this wasn't a clusterfuck of a match, I'd be lying to you. This was one clusterfuck of a match. Like, AJ being the referee, he did try and call it down the middle, I'll give him that. He did call it down the middle for the most. AJ got killed by everybody at one point in the match. I mean, Keith Lee and Strowman were pretty much, two bulls hitting, locking horns. AJ got in between that. Before that, he got kicked in the face a couple times. Guys it was so bad. This match was so terrible. 3 out of the 4 guys in this match are good workers, and then you have, of course, Braun Strowman. But this match was just terrible. I'm pretty sure the Wrestling is Over Radio is going to, Brian Alvarez and David Meltzer are probably going to shred this match, because this was terrible. In the end, Sheamus knocks Braun Strowman off the apron with a bro kick. Matt Riddle takes advantage and rolls Sheamus up for the 3 from behind. After the match, Matt Riddle and Lee stand tall at the ring. Music hits. AJ stands with them to raise their hands as Strowman and Sheamus argue. We go to replays. Jordan stares Strowman down as a bro chant rings out. Man, I'm glad SmackDown's the better show because this show just, like, SmackDown this time last year was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful, with Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin just battling it out week in and week out, week in and week out, and it was just so nauseating. Now, SmackDown is the better fucking show, even though one of the best things about SmackDown went to Monday Night Raw, but still, Bayley and Sasha Banks, which I think that's over with, that's gonna be a damn shame, but Roman Reigns and Jey Uso in the Samoan Blood Dynasty. Raw has Alexa Bliss, the Fiend, and that is it. This whole tag team, oh, here's a good idea. These guys all hate each other, and they want to beat the hell out of each other instead of being a team at Survivor Series. Let's have AJ be a special guest referee. Strowman and Sheamus can team up. They hate each other. Matt Riddle and Keith Lee can team up. I think those two get along better. I think those two actually are bros, like legit bros. But in kayfabe, it's like, I know they teamed a couple times in NXT. So I think that team's a little bit better. But it was just so bad. AJ couldn't keep control of the match. People were coming in. They were beating the fuck out of each other. It was just pandemonium. Pandemonium. It was bad. It was just so bad. Alexa Bliss is backstage. She has a couple flowers on her hand. She's picking them out. I guess she's doing the does he love me, does he love me not type thing. I'm not sure. Nikki Cross walks up. She wants to talk about Bliss and him, the Fiend. Bliss promises to talk soon and have a play date. Cross says she's not playing. Bliss says, that's too bad. Cross says she's not playing because this isn't a game. She understands some of this is her fault. She goes on and says Bray Wyatt is pure evil, and it's time for Bliss to choose. Make a choice to walk away. Says it's either me or the Fiend. Bliss says, okay. She says, I choose, and takes the flower petal she pulled off, blew him in her face, and then I choose him by doing her little pose with the hands under her fingers under her chin with the play and pain on, and she walks away. Nikki Cross just not happy about that answer. So this is far from over. I can see this leading to them with a match at TLC, and we'll see how that goes. We go back to the ring, and out comes United States Champion Bobby Lashley and MVP when Charlie Caruso with a quick update. She says the Hurt Business is all smiles because Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander will get a Raw Tag Team Championship match next week with the titles on the line. Lashley enters the ring for a message for his Survivor Series opponent, Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn, back from break. Back to break, and we come back. MVP has the official announcement for the Hurt Business. He says Lashley vs. Zayn will be a short and painful one at Survivor Series. He addresses the New Day defending against Shelton and Cedric next week and how they will take their titles. Honestly, if I had it my way, I would give it to Shelton and Cedric. New Day have had the tag team titles, 10 fucking times? They don't have, their legacy is cemented. I know Vince McMahon wants them to have, as a team or as a group, the most ever tag team titles in history. I mean, Kofi's done that by himself. Kofi Kingston is the most decorated tag team champion in WWE history with multiple tag team partners and, of course, the New Day. But, yeah. So, he's talking up Bobby Lashley and how he's going to destroy Sami Zayn. Out comes Titus O'Neil, who feels disrespected about the beatdown he got a week or two ago. And he wants a title match against Bobby Lashley. Gets that title match. He gets some offense in after, MVP makes a joke about when he slid under the rope at the Greatest Royal Rumble 2 years ago. He gets some shots in. He's actually holding his own. Big spear, 1, 2, 3. Match was over in less than 2 minutes. Not much you can say about that one. Sheamus catches up with Drew backstage. He's fuming about what happened with his team partner. Sheamus just wanted Drew to join last week, and he says he almost hates his own partners as much as he hates Drew's partner tonight. Drew tries to lighten the mood by doing the New Day theme. They go on about Sheamus wishing they could team together like they used to. They share a moment together, and it seems like they both want to team back up. Drew says they're going to have a drink and a bunch of pints together when Drew gets his title back. They show some love and respect for each other before Sheamus walks off. So, basically, WWE is setting up Drew McIntyre for post-Randy Orton. Because Drew McIntyre is not winning the WWE Championship next week. He's not. So this is going to lead to Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, probably going into TLC. What do they go? Obviously, the Fiend with Randy Orton. Do I like? If I had to be really honest, I'm fine with the Fiend versus Randy Orton if it's the Fiend versus Randy Orton and just that, no title. Don't put the title on the line. The Fiend doesn't need the championship. Bray Wyatt himself is a world heavyweight champion and 2-time Universal champion. He doesn't need another world title. I know how everyone's like, oh well, 16-time world champion Ric Flair. He wouldn't be Ric Flair. Seriously, Ric Flair didn't need to win 16 world titles. He could have won 10 and still had the career that he did. It'd be 10-time world champion. It would have been broken already twice or 3 times over. Of course, he's the 22-time world champion, but we're not going to go there. It's like Bray Wyatt doesn't have to win the WWE Championship after having the Universal title for a week. No. He can win. He can have his match with Randy Orton. Like, they could have Bray Wyatt be like, you know what? I don't even want the championship. I just want Randy Orton's soul. For what he did to my Wyatt compound, I want his soul. I don't even need the championship. It's just me and Randy Orton inside a cinematic match that they want to. Title's not on the line. Bray Wyatt wins. He moves on to doing whatever else he needs to do. Randy goes on to the Royal Rumble to face who the fuck ever they have for him then. That's where I'm going with that. Raw Women's Champion Asuka versus Nia Jax. And you're thinking, wow, it's been a while since we've seen Asuka. I mean, it'd be nice if her and Sasha Banks would promote their match. But we haven't seen her in forever. Then I'm thinking, for fuck's sake, it's against Nia Jax. Great. On top of that, for whatever reason, Lana knows that if she's in the same vicinity of Nia Jax, she's probably going to get put through the commentator's desk. So what does Mandy Rose, and I want to say Sonya Deville, but Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke do? They're really making Lana be one of the dumbest people in WWE. She's going to get put through the table again, and again, and again. And we're supposed to feel sorry for this woman. We're supposed to feel sorry that this woman is too stupid to sit in the back when Nia Jax is out there. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do with the world? What are they gonna do at Survivor Series? You're gonna get thrown through the table again, thrown in the ring, and let her get eliminated? That'd be stupid. So this match had a bad finish because Asuka won because Baszler hit the ring, attacks her to save Jax as the referee calls for the bell. Dana Brooke and Rose attack Baszler, so as to save Asuka. Lana goes to Jax, but Jax powerbombs her. Jax saves Baszler from the others. Survivor Series teammates clear in the ring and boos. Jax and Baszler stare down Lana. She's the only one left in the ring in the corner. Baszler grabs her while Jax clears the announce table. Baszler sends Lana out and slaps her, and Jax slaps her. Then trash talks her, and Jax scoops her up, puts her through the announce table with the Samoan drop for like the 8th week in a row. Jax takes the mic and tells her she doesn't belong here, and she will drag them down and tells Lana to just quit. They toss the mic, Baszler and Jax exit, and the music hits, still taunting Lana as she's down on the table debris. Should I really care about this? Should I really care about this woman? No! Like a person with a brain would know, wow, I'm getting put to the table week in and week out. Yes, these two women who I'm sitting beside saved my ass earlier in the night. So why am I out here now? Nia Jax is having a match. I should be anywhere but here. Hell, I should be at the hotel or wherever the fuck I'm staying. I should have packed my bags as soon as I got over being mopey in the back. I should have had my bags packed and I should have left the fucking arena and been gone. So there was no chance I'm getting put through this table. But what does Lana do? She's like, I'm just going to sit out here. And on top of that, when the brawl's going on, that was your chance to leave. Everyone's brawling. From Baszler, Jax, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Asuka. They're all fighting in the ring. That is your chance to, well, I better get out of here because if I don't get out of here, they're going to put me through the table. But what does she do? I'm getting sick of being put through this table, so I'm going to attack Nia Jax and get powerbombed. And then in the end, slapped across the face and put through the downs table. This shit sucks. And I don't feel sorry for Lana one bit. If you want to play the dumb babyface syndrome in this instance, you only have no one to blame but yourself. We see what happened with Miz TV, then we go to Sarah Schreiber backstage with 24/7 I-95 7-Eleven Intercontinental Champion, R-Truth, and she mentions him being a 7-person match. Next, he thinks he's going to be on a 7-camera GQ magazine photo shoot, and he tries to start for some comedy, and his music hits, and he heads out. 7-way fatal 4-way for the title. But before we get to that, Angel Garza is sending a message to his secret love of whoever it is. Don't give a shit. I don't care. When we get into the ring, and it's Akira Tozawa, Eric Tucker, Lince Dorado, Grand Metalik, and Drew Gulak, and R-Truth. Truth steps into the ring. Yeah, this is basically what happened. Truth steps into the ring, the bell rings, they all beat him down. Tozawa drops Truth to pin him for the win in the title, and that was that. After the match, we had at least 20, I swear, at least 20 title changes. Eric won it, Truth won it, Tucker won it, Gulak won it, Tucker won it back, lost it again. Like, title change after title change after title change, till eventually R-Truth won it for the millionth time and ran off. And this is supposed to be good shit. This is what WWE has to do instead of doing the chase around that they were doing with the 24/7 championship before COVID hit. They can't really have talent, I guess, running around the arena because there's nobody there who thinks it might be funny and laugh about it. And, of course, social distance bullshit. God, I can't wait till this fucking Alexa shit's over with and we're not even close to being done. Anyway, if my phone would actually act right, because all my notes and stuff are on here and everything I go with here. Okay, so Mustafa Ali versus Ricochet. This match is coming together because of what happened last week when Retribution came out and destroyed both Tucker and Ricochet, and they seem to be more focused on Ricochet and the fact that him and Ali were used to be friends, and now Ricochet is just not happy about that. Now this, honestly, in my opinion, I think these two should be in a better spot. This match, like I said earlier, this could have been and should have been a spot, the final spot in Survivor Series. Ricochet, Mustafa Ali. But they didn't do that. Why? Because WWE is lazy. But this was a hell of a match. Now, like I said it on Parler earlier, I wish that this match should feel bigger than it does. Ricochet, Mustafa Ali, one-on-one. Mustafa Ali angry at Ricochet for just being himself. And Mustafa Ali not happy with the way Ricochet's been acting and how who Ricochet is and the fact that he pretty much turned them down, I guess. So yeah, hell of a match. Slapjack, T-Bar, Mace, and Reckoning didn't really get involved as much. Ricochet did do a plancha to the outside, taking down the 3 male competitors while Reckoning moved away. Which is kind of stupid that they don't let her take this bump, because you have 3 guys who could take the bulk, and she sits. And how you do this and how you make it so that she could take this bump, which Mia Yim would definitely take this bump because I could just see her doing that, is that you have the 3 guys who are going to catch him, and she's just very so slightly there, and she just falls down with them. We've had that before, where we've had talent who are part of a dive, like who's supposed to be part of the catching crew of somebody diving, and they're nowhere near getting hit, but they still fall down anyway. They could have did that, and everybody in Retribution could have been taken out. But because she's a woman, and they can't have men-on-women violence, which is fucking stupid, they didn't go with it. So Mustafa Ali gets him into the Koji clutch with. How the fuck Tom Phillips has been commentating this shit is annoying. The way he says Mustafa Ali, he says Mustafa Ali or something like that. And then instead of saying Koji clutch, he said Koji clutch. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Someone needs to get him into how to pronounce things again, because my God, he's terrible lately. They stand tall. They stare at Ricochet while he stands at ringside. They stand at ringside together. Adam Pearce approaches Randy Orton backstage and reveals that Orton will defend his title against Drew McIntyre next Monday. Orton asks who the hell Pearce thinks he is, and Pearce says he's just the messenger, because they aren't going to give him title of general manager of both Raw and SmackDown, because that's what he does. He grabs Pierce by his throat and he rams him against the wall. He says, I got a message for you too. Tell the staff that they can go to hell. Leaps up on Pierce and heads to the ring, as he was in gorilla position. Randy Orton, The Miz, and Morrison versus Drew McIntyre and The New Day. This was pretty much a 3-on-2 handicap match because Randy Orton vehemently refused, for the most part, to be out of this match because he defends against Drew McIntyre next week. And honestly, as a champion, as a heel champion, or as a champion in general, this is very smart. Miz and Morrison, Miz has the Money in the Bank briefcase. Why should I take any damage when somebody who wants to take my championship the way he did 10 years ago, just like he did 10 years ago, why don't I let those two get the hell beat out of them, which they do, and I'm just going to sit back and watch my opponent for next week waste energy while I'm fresh as a day, as much as fresh as I can get next week. Now, match gets down to Drew McIntyre hits the glass cow kiss on Morrison. He throws Morrison into the corner and he gets down and he's like, tag in, Randy. Just tag in, make my day. Let's give these people a preview. Tag in. Orton gets up, goes to look like he's going to tag into down Morrison, and then just drops down and he's out of here. 3, 2, 1, Claymore kick, 1, 2, 3, and the challenger for the WWE Champion and the Raw Tag Team Champions win the match. After the match, Drew, Kofi, and Woods stand tall as the music hits. Orton stares Drew down from the rant, and Drew isn't backing down. We go to replays, and Raw goes off the air with Drew McIntyre talking trash ahead of next week's title match as Orton stares him down. And the next to last episode of Monday Night Raw before we get to Survivor Series is off the air. This was just boring. The little fight, like the 2 minutes we had of Alexa Bliss was something interesting because it's just that her character is interesting now. And it's better than most of the things on this TV. But I really don't care about Orton versus Drew McIntyre next week. Hurt Business versus New Day should be fine. Like Lana, week in and week out, just brings the show down. Vince, in his mind, for some reason still in his mind, thinks this is going to get her sympathy and she's going to get over with the people. And I hate to tell him that's not the case. I don't care, you don't care, nobody fucking cares about Lana enough. You make Lana look stupid week in and week out. But that is your Monday Night Raw review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Parler at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. And find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Well, actually, no, I might do a reaction to the AEW game announcement tomorrow. I'll try and figure out if I can get that fixed up for you guys tomorrow. I actually want to see if I can do a reaction. I might even try and do a video camera if things all work out. But until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.